Eric,
Yes.
I was thinking about something on the ride here. What was the greatest concert you've ever been to, and what was the absolute worst concert you've ever been to?
I will start with the worst.
Okay.
And I'm not going to go into it in detail.
Okay.
But the worst concert that I ever went to was you already know this. I'm not telling you.
Yeah, but I never get it. It never gets old listening to the.
So the worst concert I ever went to was a Jane's Addiction concert. It was on one of their reunion tours. It was at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. I believe it was at what was then called the Brendan Byrne Arena.
Oh, the Brendan Byrne Arena.
Brendan Byrne
now
Arena.
the Continental Airline Arena.
Yes. Live was opening for them.
Ooh.
Who I really like live. Though it wasn't a great set by Live because for some reason they did a mostly acoustic set.
That's weird.
Yeah, at an arena show. Yeah, really odd. I don't know what the deal was with that. So Jane's comes on, and of course we're both huge Jane's Addiction
Oh yeah,
fans.
I'm still jealous that you got to.
I've seen them multiple times.
Yeah, I only got to see them once, but it was far too late.
Yes. And even by this time, it was getting on to be a little late. I mean, for me, anything post Eric Avery years is too late.
Right.
Because he was more so than Perry and Dave and Steve Perkins. He was the heart and soul of that music. His bass lines are the root of what. Oh God, it's so good. I mean, ever. Just so many. Like all their best stuff is defined by his bass lines, and the rest of the band kind of gathered around that. Stephen Perkins had this very kind of tribal approach to drums, and it worked with the way that bass worked. Dave Navarro kind of had he was kind of very exploratory with the guitar, this big sonic sound and all that might have sounded messy, except that rhythm section just kept them locked down really good. Anyway, I'm going off here.
That's all right.
So yeah. The whole reason why this show was bad wasn't because Jane's was bad, and they weren't bad that night. They were good. But the whole reason why this show was bad, and it would have been a fine enough show, but the couple that we were with, let's just say they had a meltdown together. The one member of the couple was acting out. The other member it was just one of those bad scenes. It was a bad show, like for personal reasons. That really tainted something that would have been like super enjoyable.
It should have been, yeah.
Now, this is going to be interesting when I go into the second part of the question. But so it tainted what should have been at the very least a good show. If not a great show, it would have been a good show. But my entire memory of seeing one of my favorite bands of all time is the god-awful fight that they had, which continued on the drive home too. So we were like 2 hours from home, and it was like 2 hours in the car with that in the air.
Was it the kind of thing that at the time, like, the people around you were aware?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Because the one member of the couple was acting out in a big way, and so the other was frustrated and making it clear that they were frustrated, and this only caused the other one, the one that you know, to dig in and double down,
of course,
in the way that they,
can and do.
Yeah, the way, when I say they, I don't mean the specific person, but like people in general, people in general too. To be clear, I mean, I don't want this to come across as like a personal bashing.
Yeah. It's a situation that happened.
Yeah, exactly. So the greatest show, I think, and this is tough because I've been to some really, really good shows over the years, but I think the greatest show that I've been was also with this same couple.
Well, that's good though. That's a heartwarming.
This show was also almost ruined because of another big falling out between them. And to be clear, for people who are watching and listening, it will not shock you to find out that the couple is no longer a couple. But But this show was, the opening band was Spiritualize, who I really love. Spiritualize is fantastic. They were touring for, I believe, for Ladies and Gentlemen, We Are Floating in Space, which is a fantastic album. One of my all-time favorites. It's a great, great record. And because the one member of the couple was dilly-dallying and dragging their feet and so on.
To get there?
Yeah, like in prep and all that.
Oh, Jesus. So before you even left the house kind of thing.
Yeah, this started before we even left. We get to the venue, and we get to the venue and we enter and start to go to our seats. The venue incidentally was Radio City Music Hall, so fantastic place.
Okay, so you had to get to the city.
So we had to get to the city, and we're going up to our seats. And as we're going to our seats, Spiritualized, who both myself and the other person in this couple were really looking forward to seeing because they're favorites of both of ours. Spiritualized was playing their final song as we're getting to our seats.
By the time you got there?
Missed the entire show.
So were you guys aware when you were getting there that you were like late? Like
we knew.
Like you didn't even. It was so late. It wasn't like, okay, there's the first band might be on. We might, you know.
We knew we were cutting it close. Yeah, we knew we were cutting it close.
But that close.
We didn't realize that. So this, needless to say, caused caused a stir. The one person in the couple was really pissed at the other person in the couple, and it looked like it was going to be another really bad scene. I won't say another really bad scene because if I recall correctly, I think this was before the James show.
Okay. But
thankfully, the headliner came on. This was Radiohead at Radio City Music Hall. They were touring for the OK Computer record.
Mm-hmm. Oh, geez.
Shortly before Kid A came out, and it was freaking magnificent.
And that wasn't even who you were going.
No. I mean,
okay. You were just glad, but the opening was actually someone huge you wanted to see too, so it was a double win.
Yeah, exactly. I was there to see both bands.
Okay.
The other person was only there to see the opener. However, Radiohead was so good, they got converted.
Right.
They used to scoff at Radiohead. They were like, "Oh, creep, whatever."
Yeah, but he got so good.
And they saw that show and they were like, "Oh, now I understand why you've been raving for years about them."
Huh.
Because I used to push Radiohead on people all the time before the world recognized
knew what they were.
Because of course everyone knew Creep.
Right.
It was a gigantic hit, but they kind of faded away, and whatever. It looked like they were going to be a one-hit wonder. So yeah, they were just absolutely phenomenal. You couldn't imagine seeing them in a better form. Like Radio City Music Hall
crazy.
Was incredible. They were fantastic. The one redeeming thing is that I did actually manage to get back to Radio City Music Hall again and see Spiritualized there as
that's cool.
as the headliner some years later.
Huh.
So I got to see that, and they were
so
great.
It was okay.
Yeah, they were great. But yeah, that is probably my best and worst. And coincidentally, they both happen to involve the same couple. And it's not like we all went to shows together all the time.
Yeah, it just so happened.
Yeah, it just so happened like they both fell on the opposite ends of those range. I think we might have seen one or two others together, but not a lot. It's not like we were regular showgoers together. So yeah,
That's funny.
those are the two. So what are yours?
It's tough because I don't know. I want to pick ones that Oh my God, you're right.
No.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go with this one because it was the worst because I remember just leaving bummed. I went to see Live twice. I had tickets to go see them, and then I had tickets to go see them
Oh wait, so both of our worst involve Live.
Yeah, which is weird. A week later. So the first one was I don't remember. It might have been at the Art Center or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good show. I loved it and everything. But then I went to see them at in Asbury at the convention center.
Mm-hmm.
They played the exact same set. Which you could say oh, well, how can I argue about that? What do you expect? You're seeing them, they probably have the same set. So I get it. But the problem was, in the first show I saw them, somebody passed away what's his name, the lead singer?
Yeah, I think I know where you're going
so
with
somebody passed away and he halfway through singing, he stopped and he was upset and he said, my friend passed, we're going to sing this song for him, blah, 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 blah. And we were it's fucked up. That's great. And he said everything and all that stuff. And And then when we went to see the second show, though, he, at the same spot, told the same story in the exact same way and everything. And there was a part of all of us that were like, like, I don't know how sincere that, like...
Canned banter is, that's the worst.
Yeah, and it was like, I don't know...
How close together were these shows? Because if one was at the Art Center and the other was at the Convention Center, they either had to be days apart or years apart.
No, they were definitely only like a week apart or something.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they were only like a week apart. So I get like that, and I get that might sound like a petty reason.
No,
but I have no memory of the second show really, other than leaving and us all just being like disappointed.
I don't think it's a petty reason because to me, when you get canned stage banter, it feels like they're on autopilot.
Yeah,
it's like
I didn't feel like he really was there.
Like it's literally just, it's a script and yeah, like they're just on autopilot. And I'll even go so far as to disagree with you saying, whatever, no big deal, like the set list is the same. Now I do get it. That's largely the case. A lot of bands do that and all that. But
mind you, when I saw him, they had 3 albums out by this point. Mm-hmm. It's like Throwing Copper, like they
Mental
were
Jewelry,
Mental Jewelry. Yeah, so it wasn't like I was just going to see them, on their first album or something. This was like they had, like I knew like 60, 70 songs that they sung.
They had enough material to mix it up. Yeah, and when I see a rock band, I want to see that stuff mixed up. The bands that I've always had the best experience with seeing live, that's one of the sort of hallmarks, is that you don't know what they're going to play from night to night because they're mixing things up.
Yeah.
Not just these canned set lists, and that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like it's a band getting up there and playing. They're not doing a play where it's like they're going through the motions. I want to see them, That's upsetting too, because during that era, I really liked them too.
Yeah, like I was so excited to see live. Like I remember just being like, holy shit! Like I didn't think I'd ever get to see them. And the funniest thing about it is at the convention center, we were sitting. You know how there's like the like elevated seats on those walls, mm-hmm. and then there's the like the standing room. He was singing a song, and so after he gave that speech, and we were all like what the fuck. He sang a song and he came into the bleachers and he's literally standing like 2 feet from us, like singing, and we're all just like,
dude.
Like it was a moment that we showed him and like, fuck yeah, like fucking he's right there. We were just all like,
Now before you go into your best, I'm curious to hear what this is, and it'll be a cop out if you give your Lollapalooza answer.
I'm not.
So
I'm
give
not. I'm not.
Cop out. But a really good friend of mine used to live in Bethlehem, PA, in the Lehigh Valley, and he had an apartment upstairs from a little club called the Fun House, which is right in downtown Bethlehem. It's a little dive club, really loud as shit. And on weekends, I mean, I would stay up there sometimes on weekends. Like, you didn't go to sleep until 2 a.m.
because it's so loud.
Bands playing downstairs, but pre them getting big, live would play there all the time.
Oh, that's cool.
And this was like a hole in the wall, like literally.
The Saint. Worse than the Saint?
Smaller than the Saint.
Oh, Jesus.
Smaller
God.
than the Saint. It's when you would walk, because at least when you went to the Saint, so people don't know, we're talking about the Saint in downtown Asbury Park. And Asbury Park is well known for its music scene, most notably the Stone Pony, but also the Convention Center these days, which is a good venue. The Fun House, you walk in and it's like immediate. It's super tight. Like as wide as this room. Soon as you walk in, there's just like the register and like bar and stuff like that to get in, and then immediately the stage is there, and like all the seating and all that stuff is in the back. Past the stage, you're squeezing.
You have to walk by the stage.
You literally have to squeeze past the stage, and the space between like to walk like in front of the stage is not more than like 6 feet wide. It's this. And meanwhile, you have a band like friggin' Live. So Live used to play like downstairs from my friend's apartment all the time.
That's pretty cool, though.
Before they got enormous, and then now, of course, they've disappeared. Like
what happened to them?
I think one thing though, and this is gonna sound weird, but I think the internet helped kill them, and this is why.
Oh God.
how in the hell do you search for live on the
Yeah,
internet?
the name kind of screws up. I mean, I guess you like live band, but even you can't search live band because it's like, okay, here you go.
Yeah, like live shows, live in concert. Like it turns out it's a really bad name for the internet era. You did it again.
I don't think we could keep stuff back here because anytime I move,
You just get stuff that thin.
yeah, maybe.
So wherever you are, bald live guy, I want you to know that I don't hate you.
For the best, yeah, you said I can't say Lollapalooza, even though because it was like a day of like you know what I mean. So it's not really.
Yeah, Lollapaloozas were always a blur.
It's a tough one to say because both of them that I want to say are bands that I'm not even I wasn't even into.
Sometimes that's
it was just and I don't know. All right, I'm gonna just name both because they're both. But one of them was Fish.
I can see that.
Which I still can't even to this day name a song.
Yeah, nobody can except for except for the people who follow them around.
Yeah, like I had friends that were into Fish and they were playing at the art center and they were like, "You guys want to go?" And I said, "Sure, I'll go to a Fish concert. Like, how much stuff can I eat before I go into?"
I was gonna say I know why you went.
Yeah, so but it was one of the greatest I was like, oh, okay, I get this. Like I get why they're good. Like chill out wise, it was sort of like a. You know how Fish is, so it's like
they're a band where it's like I can't claim to be a huge fan. I'm not. However, I will acknowledge they are a phenomenal band.
And live, getting to see them live, like in the summer on the grass, like just sitting outside for a couple hours or whatever. Yeah, I was like, I still to this day tell people like it was one of my favorite concerts I've ever been to.
Yeah, I can see that.
Two I have to throw in is. And it's another one where I didn't care. I went to go see. It was I think it was live again, with the Black Crows. Oh, I can't remember their name now. The Black Crows and
Counting Crows.
And the Counting Crows.
Haha, look at me.
Yeah.
That is a fantastic bill. All right, so
but it was live was fine. They were like but it was the Counting Crows. Who I was like, holy shit! Like I wasn't a huge fan of them, you know. Same thing, like Mr. Jones at the time was the big band. So I was like, after that, I was like, wow, these guys are like actually amazing. Their live concert, it was unbelievable how good he was.
I used to really underrate Counting Crows. I had at the time I was younger and way snobbier about music, and because Mr. Jones was big and their single Round Here was also big, and it was like it came across as very sappy to me. And the guy, what is his name? Brian something. There's something with a D.
But his look, was real like
super cringy.
Yeah,
it's still super cringy.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I just found them off-putting, and at the time I also had that kind of backlash reaction to like. This is too easy and sappy, and it's too popular too fast. Screw this band.
Right.
Which was immature on my part, but that's how I reacted. I was like,
fuck. Yeah, you're also in your 20s.
Yeah, screw Counting Crows. and then finally, one day for whatever reason, I actually sat down with the record was August and Everything After, their big breakthrough. I actually sat down with it and was like, oh wow, I was dumb, because I think their second record caught my attention. They had I don't remember what the name of the single. But the lead single from their second record was a jam, and it was really good. I was like, holy shit, this is Counting Crows? Like, this is really good. It's like, all right, let me go see what this other thing was all about. Yeah, I was like a little like frustrated about it. Like, really? All right, let me check this record out. And so I sat down with their breakthrough record, and other than Mr. Jones aside, because only from being overplayed, I was like, oh yeah, I was really wrong to dismiss them. This is fantastic. And then I haven't, and then like seeing like live footage from them and stuff like that, it's like, okay, they're the real deal. Like that's.
Yeah, they were pretty, I was, like I said, I remember only remembering them. I remember Live was coming out and I was like, oh, I don't know how they're going to follow. Like I remember feeling bad that Live had to follow them because the crowd was just, like the whole crowd, like the energy was just unreal. Like I couldn't believe how much energy there was in the that he generated, and then he got off and people were fucking like going crazy, and then it's like, oh, now we got to wait for live to come out, and people were like, I'm done.
I had that a few years ago, and they've since become one of my recent favorite bands. I'd gone to see Willie Nelson at the Arts Center.
I'd love to go see him.
He was terrific. Opening for him was Sheryl Crow, who's fine. I have no issues with Sheryl Crow. And Willie, of course, was terrific. But the opener was this band called the Avett Brothers. Oh my God!
Yeah, real good.
Just like I was just like in awe. I'd gone into that show never having heard a single song. Like knew nothing of them. I knew only of their name because one of the guys we went with was a fan. He was like, "You're going to really like them," and it was a bit. But I didn't know anything really about their stuff, and they just captivated me, blew me the hell away, to the point where like I don't remember much of the Sheryl Crow set because I was still just thinking of their set. And it took like Willie coming out to like a legend like Willie to finally. But then I got home and immediately grabbed a bunch of their records and like was equally blown away. And if people haven't heard of them, I would recommend True Sadness and I and Love and You as like the two records to go for. True Sadness to me is probably their best, but you can't go wrong with most of their stuff. Their set was just incredible. It was just a great mix of like sort of Americana, folkish country, but also with like rock and some Queen influenced rock.
That's weird.
Mixed in. They opened with like a bluegrass number. So they just came out as a trio with like a banjo and a stand-up bass and all that, and they did bluegrass song, which was cool because
I like bluegrass.
I like bluegrass, so that was like a cool way to open. But then as the show went on, like they're mixing in rock stuff, and then one guy's behind a piano, Freddie Mercury style, and then they're going into like country songs, and it was just like, holy shit, this is incredible. just blew me away to the point where like, you know, these giant names that came after, I could barely think of them because I was like, wow, that opener was amazing.
It's cool though when it happens.
Yeah, it was, good stuff. Good stuff. There you go.
That's it.
Live, I will say it's kind of odd that live was kind of like a running theme.
Mostly forgotten band.
Interestingly, I was actually just listening to them yesterday. Not the whole record, but the closing song on Thor and Copper, White Discussion, is, I think, that's my favorite song from them.
You weren't listening to Shit Town?
Shit Town's a good song too. But that is my favorite song from them, and actually just one of my favorite songs overall. And if you remember the song clearly, you'll know why, knowing my taste, is because it ends in this cacophony of like just layered guitars and like, you know, they're just going off at the end of that song. Similar to Exit by U2 on the Joshua Tree.
Oh yeah.
And I just absolutely like love that. Just the fury at the end of that song is just
absolute fury.
Incredible. So there you go. Good stuff.
Nice.
This was a test episode.
Yeah.
We'll see if anyone ever sees it.
Yeah, hopefully they will.
Maybe so.
We'll see how the editing goes.
All right.
Peace, Mahado.
Be good.